Okay. Alright, stay here, Bubba. We'll go right there. Oh, look.
We'll go ahead and scoot in everybody the best we can, give everybody a good view for the drilling pit right up here.
Stay here, Bubba.
Oh, that's actually a perfect spot for him. And same for you, Lily, if you want to go ahead and come over here so you're not blocked by that sign. Then you're perfect right about there. Now, we opened up in 1891, closed in 1964. We're actually one of the last mines to close in this district. When the smelting plant over in Victor closed, almost all of the mines did, except for us. We stayed open 3 more years, sending everything out to Leadville, Colorado instead. But in those years, going through all 4 different methods of hard rock mining, we call it hard rock mining for 2 reasons. Focus on gold, silver, copper, and iron, as well as this is hard rock granite. It's very hard to drill into, it's very hard to blast into, because we have 300 feet of solid rock right above us before our 700
No, stay here.
We shouldn't even have to worry about a cave-in down here. Our first method is single jacking. A 1-man operation with a 5-pound hammer and the bull steel, and they gotta slowly make their way to this 90 set. Every hit they're gonna give this bull steel a good turn, clearing out that dust. It's also gonna keep that hole nice and even. That's it. Worst part about it, it's the condition he's working in. It's gonna be just about like this. Oh yeah, pretty dark down here. Get 3 candles about this long at the start of your shift, light it at the bottom of the shaft, get in the way you're working, blowing it out. Save at least half a candle to take it home to the wife so she can do any of her work in. Happy wife is a happy life, especially in those days. If we have enough room, we have double checking. A 2-man operation, the top guy being the striker, and the bottom guy is our shaker. Every time the striker hits that pin, the shaker's going to give it that turn. And you are switching off halfway through your shift. You want a little bit more light to work in, but it's not a whole lot. It's only going to be about this much. And if that partner does hit your head, your turn will come up quicker. Who knows what he's going to give you right back. But we also have triple jacking. 3-man operation, barely used underground because of the tight spaces. We had huge competitions on the surface. Bringing people statewide to see how it's done. A lot of these records are still holding to this very day. But in 1904, we switched over to the carbine lantern. While it has 2 big upsides, it's taking less air than the candle, and it's a little bit more brighter. Carbine granules that look like cat litter in the bottom and water in the top. You open up the top, it'll drip down that water, making this settling gas. Put out a nice white flare. It's also a very liquidy flame as well. The new guy over here, our Tenderfoot, he liked to wear this hat version. Now the hat version has to be filled up every hour compared to every 2 with this one, as well as when he started to look down. The settling builds up, it'll drip down that open flame, taking his eyebrows and his mustache right off. He's our new guy, our Tenderfoot, as well as the other way to tell us he's in his street clothes. He's way too snazzy down here, unlike the 2 old timers we got right over here. But in 1917, Edison came out with electrical lighting. The coal mine switched over to it in the 1920s, and our hard rock, we switched over to it in the 1930s. 1 battery for each hour and a 12-hour shift. You're going to be down here with those swung up over your shoulders. You puncture it on the hard rock granite, that acid can leak out, giving you a 2nd-degree burn, leaving you out of work for a week. And a week is too much down here. You just lost your job. But if we do have some time for some questions, so if you have any, please ask. Don't be shy down here. Well, we're actually right.
Come here, Jack.
First
Jack.
time, so we're going to be looking over here in the mucking pit.
Come here.
It's like a chain. I can pull on it. But we're going to keep on scooting in the best we can, get everybody a view for the mucking pit right over here. Once you drill out those 20 holes, dynamite planted, you're going to blast it out, get 10 to 15 tons that have to be cleaned up. That's what we call hard mucking. With the number 2 shovel and steel muck plate that we got right over here, you are required to fill a 1-ton ore cart every hour. If you cannot do that in just about this much lighting, you will be fired very quickly, like Jack Dempsey here. A lot of people know him for his heavyweight boxing, but what they didn't know is he's born over in Victor and went through 3 of the Victor mines as a hard mucker, not making it through either one of them. He was just too slow. Eventually proving him wrong when he became that heavyweight boxing champion, though.
Jack.
And with some of our equipment coming out as early as 1849, it was steam powered, converted into compressed air. One of our bigger muckers was 11B by Garner Denver, brought out in 1895. But without efficient weight and power, very quickly we flooded the market with the help of MCO in 1915 with this 12B here. And I will warn you before I start up any equipment down here. It is all going to be very loud. You might want to cover your ears for this.
Come here.
But we'll move up to the chain so we can get a better view while I run this mucker.
Nope, stay here, Bubba. Stay here, it's going to be loud.
Yep, you might want to cover your ears for this. This will be a bit loud. As you can imagine, with full buckets, I'm going to fill this 1 ton at work hard in just about 2 minutes, unlike the hour right over there. And out of 500 connected mine shafts, we're the only ones that are still giving a tour. All of our air comes naturally and safely through the mine. The biggest airflow is from the main shaft. The next big airflow you're going to feel it from the left side of us, the Gold King crosscut.
Okay. Come on, Lily. Slow down, Jack. Here, get in the middle. Jack, come here.
It's Epsom salt. A lot of people take a bath with it, it'll make your skin very soft. There's also a natural laxative, so I have 2 things. Please do not lick these walls as well as touch them. While it comes off very easily, some can have mercury below the rock. Mercury is a bit poisonous. We're going to see that here in a couple minutes as well.
Cover your ears.
You ready?
Jack.
That's all I'm going to do.
Woof.
This did make a lot of us lose our hearing. No hearing protection until tobacco companies tried to force filters upon the miners. Snapping the filters right off, they would shove those filters right in their ears, and they'd smoke the cigarettes like the men they were. What we started off with is black powder dynamite. Biggest problem is it does freeze and the temperature's higher than 50. It's not any higher than 50 degrees year-round out here. So we have to have the stick warmer completely full of dynamite. It's in our moist house next to the fire. I'm always going to warn you before I start up any equipment down here. You might want to cover your ears for this. This will be a bit loud. But as you can imagine, I can drill 1 6-foot hole in just about 4 minutes now. When we first started using the wet gel, though, we were using electrical delay detonators. Static charge building up down here. It's causing more misfires in the black.
I had to get pictures of all you guys. Mandatory. I got pictures of you. So what do you think of the mine? It's pretty, huh? So the crystals on the wall?
Yeah. Nope. Come on. Come on, Jack. Oh, careful. Stay here, Bubba.
Careful.
We got some more iron more on this side, as well as fluoride all the way throughout here, and some more copper seeping out through here. Then we'll go ahead and I'm going to steal this drill right here in front. Here's that wiggle tail or the wiggle maker I was talking about. Now I'm going to start with a more peaceful name, that wiggle tail. I will not run this one, Millie, you're alright.
Okay.
Now, we do have to hold it on the plane for a 12-hour shift, as well as we're turning it for that 12-hour shift, giving it the name, the wiggle tail. Gave it the well maker name because of the miner's consumption and silicosis of the lungs. Worse than the black lung from the coal mines. Dust from the hard rock granite building up in your lungs. When there's enough of it, it's going to recrystallize. You're going to start coughing out lung tissue. Now, the youngest we did hire down here is about 7 to 10 years of age. Only making 50 cents a day down here, and if they were here before the jack tanks, life expectancy of a hard rock miner is about 31 years of age. But the jack tank is just pressurized air and water. With holes in our bits, we pump that water up, turning the dust straight in the mud. Not only saving our lives, but it keeps the tempered steel a little bit cooler and it lasts a little bit longer. But as you can imagine, it did start by hand. With the same 9-piece set, you'll be holding your drill bit straight upwards. In a swinging motion like this, you'll slowly start to mine out those 20 holes in about 2 days. Which makes this one my favorite. Just a couple of years before it, well, we had to do all the work. Now, once we get the bit in there, it will hold by itself, the bit rotates by itself, and I have a kill switch. If this bit really gets stuck in the hard rock granite, it will start to spin by itself, and if you do not back up quickly enough, you're going to go flying from that drill plane. As well as this is the very loudest piece of equipment on the tour. You might want to cover your ears. Cover your ears.
Cover them tight.
But first couple gears, and it'll go up by itself. If I need be, pressing in that kill switch releases any leftover air straight out the bottom, dropping it to the floor.
Oh, put that back on.
Well, let's go take a look at that Queen Bess dope I've been talking about. Height is 50. The poor stoper rat cannot leave his post though. And we're going to keep on fitting. Once he gets up there taking a honeycomb box to do his business in, he also has to eat his lunch. enough to be on the main level, this is where we're gonna go number 2.